Welcome, everybody. This is Jim Morenz of the XchangeCore team, and today we're going to take a little peek into the National Multi-Exercise, the Department of Defense's Ardent Sentry 15, the state's California Capstone 15, and FEMA's SoCal X15. And we're going to do that through the California Earthquake Clearinghouse that is a participant in those exercises and has been using XchangeCore as its key portion of its technology interoperability project to show other agencies how you can bring together information, and in particular how you can bridge that gap that exists between GIS information and operational information. Common operating picture is great, but it's got to have information that is in fact current, and that operational information tends not to be traditional GIS layers that sit there all the time and can be pulled up at any moment, but rather it's timely, quick, responsive information that comes from the field and is able to augment those common operating pictures to really make them decision support tools. So we're going to take a look at that today, and for a few minutes we have Ann Rosinski of the California Earthquake Clearinghouse on the phone before she jumps into the clearinghouse today's active participation of the real field clearinghouse. Up to this point, it has been a virtual clearinghouse, so everything that the interoperability project has been working towards for these last 2.5 years or so has come to play, and everyone has been virtually participating in the clearinghouse, and you're going to see the wealth of information that has been collected as part of that. For that, let me ask Ann if you'd like to say anything to introduce us. Tell us a little bit about what the last 3 days have been about, and appreciate your thoughts.
Hi, thanks, Jim. So, as Jim mentioned, the California Earthquake Clearinghouse has been participating in this multi-exercise. We are for those of you who aren't familiar with the Clearinghouse, we are a cooperative organization, meaning all of our participants cooperate because they choose to. We do not have any funding. We don't compel anybody to, but we do have a state and federal mandate to provide a place to share post-earthquake information. Through the California Geological Survey works with the state as one of the Clearinghouse founding managing partners, and we are able to bring resources to our clearinghouse partners, which are a lot of subject matter experts in science and engineering, and we provide information about the damaging effects of earthquakes, and we provide that information to the emergency response community, including Cal OES is also one of our founding managing partners, and other state agencies and other organizations that have a need for that information. And the purpose is to be able to help them understand the geologic and engineering impacts so that they can make more informed decisions about how to respond. So we are not a first responder. We are not an emergency responder. We're more of a support type organization. So that being said, we have participated in a number of actual earthquakes since 1971, including the recent South Napa earthquake. And in this exercise, as Jim mentioned, we have been operating for the first 4 days or 3 days up until today. We have been operating a virtual clearinghouse, and we have been using a number of tools that are connected through XchangeCore to be able to collect and share information. So we're using the Spot On Response tool. It's a clearinghouse tool that we're using to provide to our field personnel to collect observations and incidents, photos, videos, all kinds of information. We're also using Arcgis Online. There's a XchangeCore connector for Arcgis Online that allows people to pull information from XchangeCore that's been entered other applications, bring it into their maps, or to be able to share information from their organization through Arcgis Online XchangeCore connector so that other people can see it. You can also view the incidents and observations in Google Earth. And these are just a few of the technologies that work with XchangeCore, but for the exercise we chose to just highlight those three specific ones so that people get an opportunity to see how it's used with some of the more widely used applications. But it also works, with WebEOC and NICS, the Next Generation Incident Command System. We've demonstrated that capability in past exercises. So I'm sorry for talking so fast, but we're going to be starting our actual physical clearinghouse here shortly. That's another part of what the clearinghouse does. We always will operate a physical clearinghouse location where people can meet in person, share information, put maps on the wall, talk to other people that are out responding to the earthquake, so we can coordinate more effectively, because there's nothing that takes the place of face-to-face interaction. But we also are now leveraging advances in technology to be able to establish a virtual clearinghouse. And in a real event, it would, especially for the event similar to the scenario that's being exercised this week, which is a magnitude 7.8 Southern California earthquake from Bombay Beach in down in the Southern California all the way up through Cajon Pass to Lake Castaic area. It's a major rupture. In an event like that, it's likely that it would take us a little while to set up a physical clearinghouse location, but in the meantime, people can be out in the field actually collecting information and be sharing it back. And even though it would be expected that internet capability would be spotty, it's also understood that there would probably be locations where internet would not be disrupted, so people could collect observations offline in the applications I mentioned and be able to share them back, go back, find an internet connection and upload that information, so that we can be fully operational even in the early stages of a disaster. So we'll be able to provide feedback and situational awareness. I think that's it. Does that make sense?
Yes, being in the midst of what you're doing, that makes eminent sense.
Okay, I'm going to have to let you all go, but I look forward to, in the next couple of weeks, we're looking forward to being able to participate in the biweekly call and really give everybody an overview. We'll walk you through what we did, show you the applications, show you some of the maps and products that we've made, but I just want to give everybody a little bit of preview of what we've been able to do, and I'll let you go.
Thank you very much, Ann. Anybody have any quick questions for Ann before she rushes off? All right. Have a good day, Ann. We'll be following you.
Much.
Literally, what you're doing, we'll be following over the next hour. So,
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
And that's exactly what we're going to do for the next little bit of time. Going to close this up right now, and we're just going to look into the various applications and the things that are going on in the multi-exercise and be able to provide a overview of what's happening. And in order to do that, I'm basically going to be poking around through the data. Some things we can come up with, like this plume that you see over on the left, we'll come back to that, and I'll show you the process that drew together the information that exists here, which are XchangeCore incidents, a plume from the Public Health Department, a location of that incident from the California EPA, nursing homes that are located in there that were processed and identified as specifically affected by the plume. Multiple agencies coming together by putting their little bit of information into XchangeCore that others were able to pull out, process, add to, and then push back in to be able to share to everybody else. But why don't we start out a little bit with and I'll use this tool over here to start with, and take a look at starting briefly with the first things that happened, and that had the initial reports here for the shake map. And what that was an initial report that came out, and you see it down here at the bottom, from U.S. Geological Survey, that there was a 7.8 at the Salton Sea, and preliminary earthquake magnitude, times and dates, all that information telling you how close it is to a variety of things. This is an automated result. This initial notification that comes out, it came out on my phone and it was pushed right into XchangeCore, manually I will say, but a link that needs to be made in the future. Now, among the things that are there is the image of that. And there is the shake map, and we happen to be zoomed in here a little bit. Here's the shake map for the whole area. Salton Sea down here. You can effectively see the southern San Andreas Fault. It's shifted along that red line. Each one of these having a different level of capability that's associated with it. One of the things that was quickly added in here was the modified Mercalli scale and how it was explained with the image of that shake map that USGS also published, but also giving an indication of what all those colors mean out here. So we've been able to pull from a number of different locations all the key information that's necessary for somebody who's out in the field or in an operations center that doesn't have the benefits of, a whole GIS staff or a bunch of geologists there, start to get a sense about what's happening. Now, what you see also here are a whole lot of items of interest, some of which fires that you see there have nice little icons. Other ones, this is a chemistry lab that was reported as having some type of chemical in Pasadena, and over here this little round thing is a sand boil and cracks in the pavement that's part of a liquefaction process that's going on at that particular location. All these things came in over a period of time, 3 days, as we've now seen them happening. But all of them coming from a variety of different applications. Here you're looking at spot-on response to give you an illustration of that. Here, though, we've got the same set of information inside of Google Earth. And to just poke around in here, actually, let me open that up just so that you can see the, see whether I can quickly spot the USGS. Not as easy on this one. I was going to bring that up for you, but not finding it in this list as it was. So we'll keep moving, but what you've got is this variety of different information. Little diamonds indicating a set of road closures, damaged home. We want to take a look at some information about that damaged structure. You've got a one-story moderate damage. Garage appears to be down-dropped. Obviously a technical term there. Here we go. I think we may, in fact, have the Arden Century shake map right here. Yes. All right. I stumbled into it, but you see now the shake map being presented on Google Earth, just as you saw it over there on Spot On Response. All of it being coordinated, data orchestrated to bring the information together. Just poking again for a few minutes, then we'll look at a couple of individual themes. Here we've got an anhydrous ammonia release, and associated with this is going to be a report on it. I can come up here and click on this report, and it's not going to be textual information. Oh, the same thing I had there before. This one is going to tell me what that modified Mercalli scale is going to be associated with. So you're going to get that mixture. Whoops, I lost Google Earth. Where do we go there? You're going to get that mixture of, actually, sorry, that wasn't what you saw there. You were seeing if I can find it there, there's the ICS form. You come up there, Google Earth says, I don't know why it's telling me, it's downloading it over there. That's what we're doing. Everybody has a different way to do things. This one happens to be downloaded. So there's your Los Angeles County ICS 209 form that is going to be associated with that particular release that you see down there, all the 209 form information. So the non-geospatial information that is so critical to understanding the extent of the emergency are what we're seeing unfold there. So let's bring it back to Google Earth again to give you another picture of some of the lay of the land, as it were. And what I'd like to do is move out here a little bit into this Cajon Pass area, because that's where the Clearinghouse focused much of its fault rupture examination. And we've got some of those things happening here. We've got a fault rupture that takes place, and this was put in as part of the Clearinghouse field notes information. And here we see we've got a road closed due to the ground failure that's associated with all these as pieces of information that allow us back in an EOC to see a better picture. In fact, here's a picture that we're going to see of that kid out there who's found this to be a fascinating event for him, and that would be pretty awesome to have to be able to stand in an earthquake fault. I would probably be looking at the NASA models and the Cal State Davis, I think it is, models for aftershocks before I crawled into that fault. But you can get the idea of the information that's beginning to play together. So with all that, you've seen ArcGIS Online over here and some of the things. We'll come back to this. And let me just jump to one other of the applications that we've got here. And that, in fact, is WebEOC. And you've seen WebEOC in other instances, but now we've got a whole different one. In this case, the Clearinghouse actually has a position in a variety of different places. You heard they're an official organization. So under the structure that exists in WebEOC, there are positions. Some call it activity log, but these are positions. And what this does, as we start to just sort of scroll down here, what this does, there's Highway 215 closed, is bring together all the information that you've seen in a geospatial form, now taking those observations and turning them into. Here's actually, that may be the same chemistry lab we were looking at before in Pasadena. It's sustained some damage, seeking assessment and cleanup. So you've got the ability to move data into whatever format the end user wants to look at it. Completely application agnostic. XchangeCore has that information sitting in there, and here beautifully formatted into this page after page after page of all of the activities that have been taking place and information provided by the different applications going into XchangeCore, here seen as part of the activity log inside of, and there are 3 pages of these, activity log inside of WebEOC, this one is. So that manipulation of the data to be able to provide all the details that you want to see is critical to being able to have the kinds of information that you want to have. Over here, just to sort of complete the picture of these few that we're looking at right now, want to see that LA County J.C. Penney fire problem that we had over there. There's that environmental chemistry lab. Somehow I stumbled into the same one to show the correspondence between the WebEOC and this information. Got a cloud of gas that's working its way through there. Over here I've got a ammonia release. Let's see whether we can find any of these that have a picture might be associated with them. There's one maybe. A different way to do it in ArcGIS Online rather than clicking a button, but here's information that was buried in somebody's computer, exposed out on XchangeCore, and now available in my common operating picture. Let's call the ArcGIS my common operating picture, or my WebEOC, or my Google Earth my common operating picture. All of them available. All right. Going to put those down. We'll come back to those in a little bit. And what I want to do is go back and let's focus a little bit in on the Cajon Pass. And that happens to be where I am right now. Oh, well, let's make note of that. We've got Tom Kinsel out there. We've got Michael Silva from the California Geological Survey there. We've got somebody over there, that's Ann Rosinski. You just heard from Ann. She has located herself in that Cajon Pass as we're working. So a few folks out here who are participating, Ann Millington from the California Department of Public Health, participating in this event right now. But a lot of the focus for the Clearinghouse was in the Cajon Pass. So this area, I-15, east-west corridor, north-south, maybe that looks like it's going, corridor, and heads out to eventually out to Las Vegas, maybe, someplace like that. And right in the middle of the fault rupture. And in fact, if we come over here and turn on my GIS layers and say, okay, I do want to see this shake map, can turn that on, and we see that the Cajon Pass indeed is right in the middle of that fault rupture that's taking place. But let's turn that off so that we don't have to take a look at it. And come right on up here, and let's see what's happening here in the Cajon Pass. I'm here, so as you know, on this tool, it's spatially located, so everything that's close to me is going to be listed here. I've got this landslide description, and here I say I got 7 observations, 4 of them with media. So let's explore that a little bit. And the first thing it's going to do is tell me that I've got some directions. If I want to get to that particular landslide, I'm going to be taking this obscure route that's over there. But some of the things that I want to know about that are we had Ann Rosinski checked in there. We do have some Cajon Pass, and over here I've got a little thumbnail of a picture, and in fact there is my Cajon Pass landslide that took place. That came from, well, let's see who that came from. That actually came from Phil Balin, who's a member of the Clearinghouse. He provided that information. Then down here, we see that Kate Scharrer joined the team. She's out there. Well, she's part of the U.S. Geological Survey, and in fact, we talked to her right after she landed from a helicopter trip yesterday or the day before. Someone said, gee, we know that place. We have a summary map of the geological hazards that are part of that. So let's offer that up to everybody. So now you've got plain old formatted information that's been done to give you that geologic hazards picture. So again, it's the variety of information to help people get all the key information that's necessary to make that make sense. So we've got all those pieces there. What's that? That's a resource there, Caltrans camera. It's in the Cajon Pass. All right, let's see what we got there. All right, we've got today's live picture of the Cajon Pass. Fortunately, we don't see very many earthquakes going or landslides going on right there. But somebody says, hey, we do. If it's operating after the earthquake, we're going to be able to take a look at that camera that is positioned right there. So all that range of information becomes part of what we want to know about the Cajon Pass. Some road closures there. Over here I've got road closed because of holes in the ground. That's another technical term, I assume. And here we've got intersection of something and something closed. We're starting to get people who are reporting in saying, hey, look at what we have here. Somebody's here saying, hey, we've got this release at the Teledyne battery plant, so let's take a further look at that, look at those details and directions, see whether we got any additional information. Nope, just a leak at a tank farm that's going on, pondered the spill of some unknown chemical. Have not attached any observations, no planning or resource information, no GIS information has come in from anybody, so we can assume that that one is sort of a nominal event at the time. It hasn't been closed. If you roll down here, you're going to see some events that this chemical facility release has been rated a special condition, and down here you got a couple more of this damage, this meth lab explosion, special condition. When those are finished, they end up getting closed so that nobody has to go back and look at them again. So this variety of things that we're taking a look at offset at the Lone Pine Canyon. All right, let's just take a look and see what that is. We've got a couple of observations that are there, so let's go in and peek. Here we've got a picture, it looks like. And do we have a picture? No. All right, don't know where that one went. But somebody was out there pushing information in there. So let's go in here now, and what I'd like to do is change our focus a little bit. Let's come a little bit more into the downtown area. We've done our fault rupture kind of things. Let's come into the downtown area, and there are three major areas that were focal points. And actually, I'm just going to do a quick search here for commerce. There we go. Commerce is an area, and NASA produced immediately a number of different analyses of commerce. And commerce is down in this area. You see I've now driven to commerce, as it were. Commerce is right here, and I want to illustrate for you some of the analytical tools that NASA brought to bear and shares through XchangeCore. So let's start out, first of all, by taking a look at possible, let's see, what should we do here? These are some of the preliminary counts. I'd like to first find loss estimation of highway bridges. Yeah, let's take this one. Let's take highway bridges there. I'm going to hit that little button, and what I get are all those dots that have now shown up here. A lot of bridges in Los Angeles. Holy cow. You would not have thought. I guess these are all the elevator freeways over every single street that's down there. Anyhow, if I am prone to go out and inspect highway bridges, we now have all the highway bridges that are in this specific area. And the process that NASA does is they are getting XchangeCore incidents. The XchangeCore incident arrives. It is then, its location is identified. The rules, in this case, I'm going to guess that this was a 2-mile area, 3-mile area, something like that. And if I went back there, it might even tell me that. Railway, highway bridges, within 10-mile radius around that specific location. And so we got commerce there. Somebody identified that as a key area of concern, and some of the information that immediately becomes available through the models and are published out here are things like those. We've also got some other preliminary counts here of building damage, and in that comes out a different format of analysis. This is, I'm guessing this is by census block or something like that. Maybe if I click on one. Yeah, okay, so this analysis, and this comes out of Arcgis. Arcgis provides the kind of details that, and given this moderate damage, or this level of earthquake, 7.47, in this particular census area, I'm going to have some basic medical need needed for 49 people, advanced medical need for 24 people, 2 life-threatening on the building side, 700 slight damage, all the way up to 3 completely damaged, 54 extensive damage. So these models that used to sit on somebody's desk now become immediately available. And what do they become available for? Well, when Tom Kinsel is out there, he's going to say, you know what, if I want to look someplace, I probably ought to head in this direction, south down here, because over here I'm going to have an area where I've got a larger number of damaged structures, which is going to be, for me, a structural engineer or whatever he is. What is he? He's, Tom Kinsel is in architecture and planning, all right? So he's going to want to look at an architectural perspective, and he's going to make his way down into this area to be able to see that kind of building damage. What else do we have in here that's interesting? We did the railway bridges. We did the building bridges, railway bridges. A few more of those. I've lost them up here, and if I wanted to do that, I'd clean that off and come on back and take a look at my railway bridges. If I happen to be a railway structural engineer, that's where I'm going to want to go, over here, to find these specific railroad issues. And I can find out a little bit about them. It's currently tagged as a yellow threat based on the Arcgis modeling, with a probability of some slight damage of 77% and a probability complete damage of only a little bit more than 2%. So you're starting to get an understanding of what's happening. And I get that understanding within the context of field observations as well. So this is my model forecast. And down here I see, well, you know what? You actually do have from Maxine over here, I actually do have an observation of something, and I can bring this right up here, and not exactly sure what this is, but let's take a look. Ah, there she is, or there somebody is out there looking at the associated damage around that residential structure, providing what looked to me like liquefaction. Anne has taught me some things over the last couple of years. So all those things become part of our ability to see the kind of detailed information that I want to be able to see. And let's see, what else do we have here? Let's come back to the top level. So you've seen a little bit on the road closures, and road closures are a very interesting component of what's been done. You've seen some downtown area. Let's come down here, and one of the things that I know we have is come in here, and it is called AMVAC, chlorine release out of the AMVAC plant. Well, what does that mean? First of all, I'm going to get the information that is available over here, a plume report. First of all, somebody is out there doing an assessment, and you're going to get this kind of very useful report. Reports are always great. I can see the location of that plume, see a little bit of information about it, and understand some of the toxicity of it and the meteorological conditions. And this is coming out of that AMVAC Commerce plant. What I also have, though, are some live interactive tools that we can have. First of all, let's take a look at that release. You saw that release over on Arcgis Online a minute ago, and here's the end result of it with a couple of things. And specifically, I'm going to come down here to these selected healthcare facilities in the plume, because by hitting that, you're going to see some little dots come up here. There we go. Oh, those are bigger dots than little dots. And each one of these is representing information that is about the San Gabriel Convalescent Center, you know, who and how many. All this information having come out of somebody's very, very hard work in creating a GIS layer. But that GIS layer has to go someplace. And here it's coming out, again, remember, this is a mobile device. So this person who's standing over there, Ann Millington, who happens to be part of the Department of Public Health, is going to be able to be supportive of these nursing homes in some fashion or another, advising them perhaps to stay in place or go somewhere, about the potential of this plume release. It's that movement that's critical, and I want to show you how that movement takes place. Let's come back over here, and this is Arcgis Online, and this good work was done by Phil Balin, and what we've got is coming out of, actually let me step you back one step. That's my web map. This, in fact, is my Arcgis Online connector to this capstone event. So here you see in the connector, just as you saw in the web map, those landslide inventories, and there's the NASA decider stuff, and there's that Highway 15 close. All the information that comes from XchangeCore is there. And what I want to do is, well, this already has that layer on it, but I'll show you how they got there. What I want to do is to be able to connect to XchangeCore from Arcgis Online. And what I connect with is this tool, and let me just clear that off so that you see that it happens for real. And I go out and I fetch my information off of XchangeCore, that is the Clearinghouse XchangeCore. I have all the same incidents that you've been seeing there. And if I were to find that AMC incident, which I may not be completely comfortable doing, so what I'm going to do is find some of the NASA ones, just to give you an illustration. You saw that NASA information that was over in that other application. Well, here I can get this same NASA information. This is coming out of XchangeCore and is now available to be able to be put into ArcGIS Online. If I pick any one of these things, come over here, and I'm not going to actually click on these things because this is a real operation that's going on now and the real exercise. But if I submit this map context, it's then going to go into my content. And when it goes into my actually I can, I'll stay with my rule of not messing with the exercise. So I've got all this data that NASA produced. It was available on the NASA eDecider website. Great if I knew where to go. It becomes available through XchangeCore, and you saw it over here in Spot On Response. You saw it over here now in ArcGIS Online. By clicking on this and sending it off to my content, I can now come back to my web map or any web map that I want to have and be able to add that information in. And that information, one of those pieces of information, was the information about the nursing homes. So what I have are here all the nursing homes, but I don't want all the nursing homes. What I want to have, in fact, is using my ArcGIS Online connector, turn that off, come back here, and let me put all those nursing homes on. And you see there are lots of them. What I want to do is find out who's in trouble here, who's possibly the bad stuff that's going on. So what I'm going to do is bring this up, and down here I'm going to find, pick any one of these. Chlorine release, that's the one I was looking for. So I got my chlorine release there. I'm going to say I want to select the features that are in fact my nursing home features. Those nursing home features, I want to, let's do a, how about if, just to make it quick, how about if I do a 3-mile line around this earthquake? So around this plume there. So basically, quick way, go in there, draw a direct line, double click on it. It comes in and it says here's 3 miles around the center line of that plume. There's every nursing home that's in that. I can then come over here. If I were to click on features, I can then say nursing homes. And that, were I to submit it, and this is exactly what Phil did, that then goes back into XchangeCore and becomes the layer that you saw over here that brought all these nursing homes up. It's that simple, really. It's one step on this side to see the information. It was about 4 steps on the other side to get my plume, be able to associate any of my data with it, put some type of a demarcation around it in order to highlight the ones that I want to move in, and then it's one click over there to send the features off to XchangeCore so everybody has them. What that's doing is integrating your operational information with your GIS information. And what you're able to do then is come into Google Earth, and let's see whether did I find that one? Fault crossing. No, anybody help me? This is my problem. I'm looking for chlorine. I wish there was some little search thing that you could do on Google Earth. Do you think that's it? There we go. So I've got that. Here's my chlorine release at that plant. I come in here, and if I want to see all that data, well, here I can go get all that data. I can pull that information up. Here's the chlorine, the facilities that we just took a look at, and there's the nursing homes that we had. Even in Google Earth, I can get it. Now, I'm not going to be able to display this because this is ArcGIS data. Can't display it there. You need some translation to do that, which is what Spot On Response does. This is actually, that one says KML, doesn't it? There is, let's see whether we can, there is inside of Spot On Response now the ability to bring up the information from ArcGIS Online. So that if I come over here and take a look at this, let me turn that one off. Got lots of information here that has come in from ArcGIS Online and now becomes available inside of Spot On Response. And yeah, there we go. We get to see those guys now as the nursing homes associated with the plume. So, moving that data. Again, XchangeCore is our key. It says, here's the data. You deal with it as a outside application in whatever way you might possibly want to deal with it. On a WebEOC, you're not going to see much related to that. I can come in here and I could see that AMC incident. Oh, I probably ran out of my time there, so we'll skip that one. So, data moving back and forth. Data coming from a variety of different sources, model data. And with that, those are the couple of key components that I wanted to show to you. The ability to bring in that initial information to begin to assess GIS information against the initial information to bring in real about the earthquake. The road closure information that provide our ability to see road closed, see traffic cameras, have that all associated with that specific area there. So my geologists, my emergency responders, and my engineers are all able to be looking at the same kind of information. Then we went to plumes, more real time, bringing together Environmental Protection Agency, the California Department of Public Health, Clearinghouse people who were then alerted that they should be making certain that they might have a problem there, field personnel and nursing home people who are able to bring that information together. All those pieces in a variety of different agencies and organizations that are able to as a result, be able to bring the information to bear that they need. So let me ask, anybody, you want me to look at anything? We've got, this is one that I should have done right at the beginning, now that I'm looking at it. Here we have the basic landslide inventory for Cajon Pass. The reason why the Clearinghouse headed in this direction is because they had previously done these surveys. So here I've got this information that shows me where the greatest risk of landslides are in the Cajon Pass. So were I to have followed that sequence a little bit better, I might have gone from the shake map that says, hey, we think this is out here, to my assessments that have been previously done of my inventory, saying, hey, these are the most likely places to go, and then begin my investigations in that way. We've got some more CGS information. Good stuff here that we're going to see if I come back a little bit. Yes, you've heard the term liquefaction. One of the reasons why Commerce was selected as having a major potential risk of liquefaction is because this previously done assessments by California Geological Survey give me the best chance of saying, hey, you know what, this is where I ought to go if I'm looking for liquefaction. And just to hit the last one, these were the specific faults that were part of the rupture back here, and you can see that complex of faults with the key question being, okay, I've got the big one down here that you see in red up at the top. Well, here are all these coming out of these mountains, all these secondary faults that are likely to be moving and as a result causing problems into these areas. So a forecast model coming out of U.S. Geological Survey, the field assessments and analyses that have been done out of California Geological Survey, followed by field assessments to go out and say, hey, right here, in fact, I've got a landslide in Cajon Pass. And finally, to come in here and be able to say, you know what, not only do I have a landslide, but I can show you that landslide. That's information that's all going not just to all these scientists, but back through XchangeCore to my common operating picture, whether it's Google Earth or whether it's going to be ArcGIS Online, being able to pull that information out and see the relevancy of each one of these applications as they specialize in their own specific use of the data provided by XchangeCore that makes all this common to everyone. So with that, let me offer up anybody who has questions. If you want me to poke in the data a little bit more about, see whether we can find something, the floor is yours.
Hey, Jim, this is Phil Balin, and I just wanted to comment to the audience that one of the main tasks that we have is we have these static data sets of many of our critical assets, but when an event occurs, we need to be able to access live data such as the earthquake shaking or plume, and then subset from this asset like he was showing, the nursing homes, to give to people in the field to say these are the nursing homes in the area of concern, and to be able to select them, print them out as a list, or send them as an Excel spreadsheet is a very powerful way of combining real-time data, the actual damage that's being seen in the field, with other assets and giving that information for people to check. And that worked quite nicely here, as you can see in the exercise. Thanks.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that. Other questions, comments, thoughts? I'm going to do one more thing here while we're talking and waiting for any of you to have an idea. Anybody with a question? All right, I'm going to bring up here Firefox, which does a nice job of doing what I'm going to do, because you've seen things in a lot of different formats here. But here's an important one to see it in, and that is plain old words. You've got the ability now inside of to be able to pull this information out of XchangeCore and see it like maybe normal people do. There's a special condition over here where we've got some parking lot area. There's that chemistry lab that's not working anymore that we've seen several times. You got the different products that are associated with it, all the different reports. There's the initial report from ShakeMap. So don't think of this as only maps. As Phil said, you need to look at it in the way that you want to see it. And here's a beautiful, beautiful way out of the SIRS data from Environmental Protection Agency. This battery corporation was someplace in a critical area. Somebody said, this is valuable to us. They're a large quantity generator. And in fact, I now know about them and check with them and inspect them or whatever.
We're able to pull up all the Walmart stores and know exactly what it is. So Walmart, all those companies are tied into this now.
Wow.
Everyone, you won't believe it. You won't believe who's tied into it. Now, what he just did...
Somebody's not on mute there, although you are making a good point about the Walmart. And what I would be happy to do as we're working, let me jump over and take a look at that.
Is that Dr. Moritz? Yeah. Okay. I guess everybody can search. Oh, you're in a conference. So. Yeah.
Yeah, Roy, I think you're not on mute.
Yes, Jim. Hello
yeah.
there. Please accept my apology. I didn't know that I was tied in live with you. I have Chief Lynch here with us, which we're doing the evacuation for the Ruxino and so forth. And this is just absolutely perfect for what we're doing. All of the people are to be commended. Fantastic.
Well, thank you. And you reminded me of the other part of what's been going on out here, so I appreciate that. One of the other things that has been going on that I didn't bring up was SABRE, the Single Automated Business Exchange for Reporting, has activated using XchangeCore. And as you see here, we've got information coming in from Sears and Costco and Lowe's and Macy's and all sorts of other folks. There's Macy's in Temecula. They are closed at this moment in this simulated emergency, and you can learn what's going on with them. Costco out there, they happen to be closed out here on their McKinley Street in Corona. All these organizations are sharing their information in through Sabre that uses XchangeCore. And in fact, heck, we've got this one, don't we? Let's come in here, take a look, turn on their GIS layers, and one that they have is that chlorine release. So we ought to be able to see whether I've got, where did it go? Whether I've got stores that are potentially affected by that chlorine release. And indeed, I do have a Sears right there. Is that a Sears? Yeah. And over here is a Macy's that's impacted. So those are some additional concerns that one might want to have about that particular plume. And as we played through this exercise with the private sector, they started in exactly the same way by putting that, let's turn that one off and put that one on, putting on that aftershock map and doing a very quick assessment back in their strategic operations centers of what's going to be impacted. And in fact, if you take a look at that, they've done a pretty good job of saying, okay, our first assessment is that we're going to have problems in these areas and not down here. So that interaction, private sector now, we've brought those guys in and doing some pretty exciting things. And in fact, just to wrap up this session, the Sabre organization has reduced its participation in the exercise because there is a typhoon bearing down on Guam, and while Sabre's still playing the exercise in California, I ended up, where'd I go? I thought I was going to end up in Guam. Don't know why I didn't. Oh, I know why. I didn't do my lookup. Anyhow, we'll be there in a second. Guam, look up Guam. There we go. Set my location to Guam. And what I have are a Sears and a Macy's, both operating on Guam. One of them is a Kmart, and I don't remember what the other one is. But they're able to see, in fact, yes, it's a 24-hour Kmart. And they have now sharing this information through Sabre back into FEMA Region 9 that played in this exercise and has been a consumer of all these exercise data. They asked us to gear the Sabre group up. These are the two Sabre members who are reporting so far, who in fact do have operations in Guam, and that is going to be monitored through Sabre by other organizations that are concerned about what's going to be happening in Guam, to be able to deliver that information to about their status and let governments know that. So with that, I will stop, open it up again for any questions that anybody has. We've gone from California exercises to real emergency responses in Guam. We've used multiple applications, and you've seen lots of different types of emergencies that we all hope nobody has to bear in the near future. Anybody, anything? Closing comments? Well, then let me wish you all an excellent, actually, the next 2-week period is the Memorial Day week, so our next session is the 4th of June, and we will have all the different participants in this exercise talking about what they did. We'll have NASA here, we'll have the GIS group, we'll have Argonne National Labs. Every one of those that you've seen a little glimpse here that I sort of ran through quickly, they're going to tell you how they did it. So June 4th, excellent session coming up. Until then, have a great Memorial Day. Bye, everybody.